Hello friends, welcome to a new series. This is going to be episode 0 of our Hitless journey to getting a perfect boss challenge playthrough. Let's jump into Stellar Blade, the game we're playing today. And since this is an episode 0, the goal of today is really to set a new PB. Up here you can see our hit counter, which is what I use on my streams. But we're going to, whatever PB we get today, we're going to set that as our new PB for offline videos. So this is going to be episode 0 where we just set our PB to start. And I also kind of introduce myself in case you're new and maybe haven't watched me stream before. So we are in game now, and the way we do this is we do boss challenge. And I've been doing it on normal, on minimum. So I'm playing with a mod, which I'll have linked in the description. But it's called Skin to Fusion, which essentially lets us use the skin suit without any worry of demonetization or anything. So it's a pretty awesome mod. Definitely check it out if you wanted to do minimum videos or something without the actual skin suit. Now, if you don't know who I am, I'm Gino, but you can also call me Bliss. And I've been doing YouTube stuff since March of 2024. That's when I started streaming and playing Stellar Blade during the demo era. So we've been doing this for a while. My first year of streaming, we did like, I want to say it was 190 streams. We did a lot of streams. Maybe it was 150, I can't remember exactly, but 1, 2. But the goal with this series is I really wanted some kind of offline content, 1, 2, where I could potentially record a bunch of these in a day and put them out, like if I'm busy. You know, if I'm at work, I could release videos while I'm working, which is kind of nice. So on non-stream days, we can at least have this. And I thought it'd be fun to do it all as one take. Because, you know, if you watch, like, I love Ongbal. That guy's a beast, right? If you've ever seen his videos, you know what I'm talking about. But what you don't see is how much time goes into getting that perfect run. So by doing only one take each day, or like each episode, we're not going to do any resets. Just whatever we get, that's what we get. Moving on to Corruptor. I think it's just fun to show the process of working towards perfection. The relentless pursuit of perfection, which was Lexus's old slogan. Now it's like something else, not as cool, I don't think. Oh, it's experience amazing, but the old slogan was so much cooler. Anyway, a big Lexus fan, personally. Some little things about me. My favorite franchise is Resident Evil. I love survival horror games. My favorite game of all time is RE1 Remake. I basically sold my soul when I was much younger to GameStop to get my first GameCube and those first copies of, like my first copy of RE1 Remake and RE0. Bang, bang. And if you're wondering, why are we doing this challenge to begin with? Well, the reason is that I really wanted to, 1 and 2. I really want to do a full game playthrough, hitless, new game, normal. So it made sense to me that I would just practice the bosses on normal difficulty. And, you know, we'll just do minimum so that it's at least somewhat challenging. Because if you use the other presets, you know, you're really strong. So in some cases, when we're actually in our runs and our full game runs, you know, we're going to have a lot more tools available. Like, once we get past Gigas, we're going to have access to our guns, and we'll have access to burst energy eventually. So I should probably, if I really want to, if I want to be more holistic, I wouldn't use burst abilities until we're past Stalker. But I think just for getting a hitless run, but at least the first time, it's not a big deal. So I might just use some abilities that I wouldn't actually research in the full game run. And I think that's fine. What else about me? If you're new to watching me, you don't know who I am yet, I'm a big baseball fan. I'm a diehard Yankees fan. I'm wearing a Yankees hat right now. I watch all their games. That is not an exaggeration. I literally watch every game. And then I also follow the Marlins because I'm a Miami kid. So that's where I'm at. 1, 2, and 3. What else? What else? And you know, I love this game for a lot of reasons. Some of those reasons I talk about in my demo review, which is quite an old video now, but still somewhat relevant. But for the most part, I enjoy this game so much because of, number one, the music, and number two, how satisfying the gameplay is. So, for me, boss music is like a huge part of the experience. In fact, I'll show my audio settings, but... Hang on, let me get one cool counter chain 2 here. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, that was overkill. He was already down. Anyway, that's Gigas. I'll show my audio settings, but I have music a little bit higher than everything else. Because it's a big part of the experience. I don't know that I would love this game so much if it didn't have the music that it does. We've probably done at least 50 playthroughs. I'm not sure. I stopped counting around 30 something. But I've done a lot of playthroughs of this game, and it's so enjoyable just every time because largely in part thanks to the music, but also it's just extremely satisfying. So I love the methodical combat aspect of it. I love any game that has the ability to parry, and I love any game also that lets me express myself through a variety of things, and there's lots of expressive things about this game's combat. Oh yeah, here's my sound settings. As you can see, I put effects down to 80, voice at 90, and then music at 100. Oh, and also, we're playing on Japanese right now. That's just because that's what we were playing earlier on today's stream. I'm recording this after the stream. But usually, we play on Korean. That's what we most normally play on. Okay, so let's fight Stalker here. The classic demo boss, gotta love him. 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wouldn't it be crazy if we got this first try, no hit? Nah, that can't happen. I mean, it'd be so unlikely. Clash. Oh yeah, this mod does also change your sword, which is nice. And it animates perfectly. Everything works as far as the clashes go. That was a little bit risky, but not a big deal. Now, anytime you get a transition attack, it doesn't actually deal damage to you. So I don't count those as hits. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. And you should always go for a dodge or keep attacking during the transition attacks because it's just free energy. You'd be leaving the energy on the table. Oh, that's interesting. That attack is actually invincible, but since we broke their shield, 1, 2, damn. We got a hit there on the rocks. 1, 2, 3. Had our first hit. Should have interrupted that rock attack. I was going to say, I broke their shields during an invincible attack, which is the only way to interrupt them if they're doing an invincible attack. Pretty much every boss will have at least one invincible attack. Some have many. And I'll talk about them more as they happen. Like one that comes to mind, next boss will be Juggernaut. Their overhead, they'll have an overhead blink. That is invincible, so it doesn't matter what you do, you can shoot them with a shotgun, you can do a beta skill, you can go into overdrive, or do a burst skill, nothing can interrupt that, so you don't want to overcommit if you think that attack could happen soon. But yeah, that rock attack, that's 2 or 3 parries, it kind of just depends, and when you're up close, it's very hard to tell, so if I was being very serious and trying to really get this right now, I would definitely just interrupt him. I would interrupt Stalker during the rock attack, where he launches 2 or 3 rocks at you. You can parry those rocks, but they have a separate unblockable rock attack where you cannot parry those rocks, but you'll see the yellow circle if it is unblockable. But now we're on to Juggernaut. I like this guy's theme song because it reminds me of the Batman Beyond intro. I don't know how, but it does a little bit. Also, this is a Repulse. This guy has an invisible attack. Only Juggernaut and Belial really have these attacks. Where they do an attack that's right there. It's so fast, it's very hard to parry unless you have studied it a bit like I have. This is the invincible one. So whenever that happens, just make sure you let it rock. The only way to interrupt that would be had I broken his shield during that startup. Oh, okay, luckily that was a transitional attack, so it doesn't matter. One and 2 and 3 and 4, delay and 5. I'll down him with counter chain 2. one of my favorite abilities. If you didn't know, if you're using something like Counter Chain 2 or Rush Chain 2, for example, since they say level 2 in their name, they get buffed by things like the Chain Type Exospine or like the combo gear, for example, which buffs, it'll say buffs combos level 2 or higher. That's what that means. But this right here, that's Rush Chain 1, so that does not get buffed. But like the Counter Chain 2 does get buffed. Big jump and dodge. Nice. And we'll just move on past Juggernaut. One of the coolest kill animations right here. For me, like my top 3 are definitely, as far as kill animations, Juggernaut, UN, and maybe the third one, I don't know, because like Juggernaut and UN are right there. Probably Demo Crawler. There's a lot of good ones, but probably Demo Crawler. But for sure, far and away, Juggernaut and UN, those are my top 2 favorite kill animations. Demo Crawlers in general is also incredible, largely in part thanks to the soundtrack. Shout out to Pernell. If you haven't seen Pernell, I'll talk about it when we get there again, but Pernell has a great music video with the Demo Crawler song, because they did the vocals on it. But here is Taki. I usually put just Matrix 11 boss, that way in case someone joins the stream and maybe they haven't beaten the game, they don't instantly get spoiled by seeing like, oh, there's a boss named Taki. So, 1 and 2, 3. Same thing with Nest boss. When we get to later in the game, you'll see, bang, bang, bang. You'll see I don't spoil the names of the bosses in the hit counter. This hit counter, by the way, is just called like Hit Count Manager or something. It's just, if you Google what Souls players use, it's this thing. It's pretty good. It has global hotkeys, so I can easily add hits during gameplay without like worrying about like the fact that I'm in game. There's the Repulse. She often does that at the beginning of phase 2. And Repulse, of course, buffs our ranged attacks, which, fun fact, it also buffs your, the slash, not slash, what's it called? The ranged beta skill. I never use it, so I forget. Crosswave. That thing is considered a ranged attack, so it will get buffed after doing a Repulse. But I like to usually just shoot the weak point. And here's phase 3. Now, she'll often teleport in front of me and do like a 4-string or something. 1, 2... And that's brutal. She did the 3-string. I took 2 hits. So I did document them. Damn, unfortunately, I was a little bit distracted adding my hits. That's okay. We'll just add 3 hits and redo the boss fight. That's not a big deal. I forgot to set this up. I'm using an 8-bit do keyboard, and I have these gigantic buttons. So I can use these for adding hits, which makes it easier when I'm adding them in the middle of battle, because I like to do them right away. But it's a little foolish. It's a little foolish. Watch out for episode 1. Episode 1, we're going to have this setup right off the bat, and I will not make the mistake. Add. Remove. Okay, it works. So I'm just going to count that as 3 hits for my first attempt. And since we died, I'll just do it again. 1 and 2, 3. That's what one take is all about. You include all the mistakes, all that stuff. No edits. I'll probably only edit the very beginning of the video because, like, when the game was booting up, because you don't gotta see that, you know, waiting for that. 1 and 2, 3, 4, delay, and blink. You might wonder, like, why are you counting the blinks? Why are you counting repulse? Because I'll do that a lot. The thing is, it's kind of just a habit now. Back during the first year this game came out, in like, around like October, November, when this game first came out, we were doing a really hard challenge run that I called No Camps. Some of the YouTube stream titles were also like Masochist Run, but basically 1, 2, 3, delay, end, 4. But basically the run was no camps, which meant that we couldn't use any of the resources that camps offered. Which, the main thing is no skill tree. That was the biggest thing. And obviously we didn't upgrade our sword either. So playing with no skill tree meant that I got used to just dodging blinks and repulses. So I'll still count them because I don't want to forget my timings and how I would count them. So I'll still count them even though now I have blink. Obviously I can just do the blink, so it's not a big deal. 1, 2, delay, end, 3. Alright, so this is what I messed up earlier. But this time we were good. Let's actually knock out her shield. with a shield breaker there, or flash kick if you like Street Fighter. I'm a big fan of Street Fighter 4. I played a lot of AE 2012. So if you ever want to play AE 2012, I'm always down for that. But these days, the only fighting game I really play is Tekken. So I played a bunch of Tekken 7 and 8. Because I grew up playing Tekken 3. It was actually quite popular with my family. So like I even had a cool aunt who would play Tekken 3 and stuff. Well, I guess I could talk about more about like my background. I'm Colombian Italian, so my name is Gino, which is a very Italian name. But then I also speak Spanish. Spanish is technically my first language, which you might not surmise from just listening to me normally, because like I talk with a very American accent, right? Wait, not Corruptor 3, Belial. But yeah, because I don't have that Hispanic accent. I started learning English like in school, because I grew up here in the US. So, but I first learned Spanish, and you know, I've been to Colombia a bunch of times, and I still speak Spanish every day at work and stuff. Where I live, you know, Miami area, lots of people speak Spanish. You kind of need to know Spanish if you, at a lot of jobs, it's really good to be bilingual. And as far as my Italian side, I've only been to Italy one time myself, but I would like to go at some point with my fiance. Oh yeah, I'm getting married. Earlier this year, I proposed to my girlfriend, which was really cool. And you better believe that you will hear about when I do actually get married eventually, because it's going to be a whole thing. 1 and 2, 3. It's going to be such an event, like such a big moment in my life moving forward, that there's no way I'm not going to mention that in one of these videos or on stream. 1, 2. Yeah, here's Belial. This is actually my favorite boss in the game. 1 and 2. And if you were curious about my thoughts on all the bosses, I actually have a video on that. It's called All Bosses Ranked. So if you are newer to my channel, I recommend checking it out, just because a lot of my thoughts are still the same. However, I will say, when I made that video, the 2 new bosses that were added with the complete edition when this game came out on PC, 1, 2, were not a thing yet, so I could not have had them 1 and 2, 3. I could not have had them in that tier list, so I might have to make another one at some point. We'll see. 1, 2. That was a cool dodge, built in. Because I was trying to avoid... Oh shit, I just realized this triplet does lower 1 balance. I don't normally use triplet in my typical gameplay, I just forgot. Damn, I was not thinking about that. Usually what I would use in my runs is 2. Okay, that was an unfortunate hit. I didn't, and 2, 3. Let's add 2 hits for that. But my mistake there was that... Oh my gosh, I can't do that. You can't do aerial combos when he's in that stance? I didn't actually know that. Huh. My mistake was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I should have kept a few resources to interrupt him, just in case he did something like that. But not a big deal. Now we're dead. If you didn't know, with blinks, if you're not facing them, you don't get the Q. Oh, that's a brutal way to die. There's an interesting thing with blinks, and it's been this way since the demo, it's not a bug. If you're out of range of a blink attack, because blinks are all grabs, so if you're out of range of the grab, your sword will not glow blue. The boss will, or the enemy, they'll still have their blue circle on them, but you don't have that visual cue on your sword, so you'd have to just know the timing. And another thing is, if you're not facing them, if you're completely like off axis like I was there, I think the blink is just completely impossible. So I screwed myself. That was my fault for getting out of alignment there. Watch. Episode 1 will be at least tying the PB. I think we're going to do so much better next time. So let's do the blink here. So yeah, I really wanted to do an offline series just because I feel like, you know, I'm really good at just talking endlessly since we've streamed a lot. But the thing is, if you only watch my stream 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then there's a lot of stuff that you might not know about me, even if you've watched me a lot. And so I thought that 1, 2, having an offline series where I can like be like, okay, I'm gonna talk about some stuff today, and then if you follow the series, then you'll have a good idea of like who I am, and then that might interest you. You might be more interested in watching my stream to begin with. So this is kind of like a way to advertise the stream in a way, because it's the same layout. Oh, he always starts phase 2 with a blink, so I'm just going to do it. There it is. Blinks are great for charging burst energy. Ah, that was greedy. Add a hit there. Dodge. Not a great Belial. We're at 7 hits. Let's try to keep it under 10. If we keep it under 10 for my first episode, I'm happy with that. Because our PB is 5, and we've only gotten that twice. We've gotten it twice. 1, 2. Let's go ahead and down him. And now I will charge. Using Rush Chain 1 there. And charge a little bit more. Cool. So now I can always interrupt him with my overdrive if anything. 1, 2. Interrupt that. 1, 2. That's the invisible attack. Dodge. Is this phase 3? I think it is. No, yeah, this is definitely phase 3. So we're close. Okay, that's Belial. Pretty rough. 3 hits on him. Including a death. Not optimal, but I'll take it. Belial also the only boss that ends in an R2. Next up we have Karakuri. Probably the prettiest boss arena. Potentially dethroned thanks to the DLC boss. Slightly prettier arena, but Karakuri in that same vein, you know, Japanese aesthetic, it's very awesome. Okay. And the only boss where you cannot use guns in the entire game. What else? Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of PS2. That's my favorite generation, which you might have figured out when I talked earlier about how Resident Evil is my favorite franchise, and specifically my favorite game is RE1 Remake, which is on GameCube, which is 6th generation. I recently picked up a fat PS2 because my childhood one had died. I don't remember how it died. It like fell off of the TV stand or something, unfortunately. But my slim PS2, I was just having too many issues with. Like I could not get the laser to work, and I was like, alright, let me just get a fat one, because the fat PS2s are much more reliable, generally. If you have a slim PS2, you might have experienced this where you have to kind of weigh down. You gotta weigh down the disc door to get it to read. And previously, in more recent years, I was able to get it to work by simply putting a game case on top of my slim PS2. 2 and 3. But that wasn't working anymore. So yeah, I just bought a slim one, or a fat one. And I'm very happy with it. It's modded already. Using like PS2, it's open loader, OPL, 1, 2, and 3. So it's very convenient because, you know, some of these games are really expensive. Like, I own Silent Hill 2 and 3 and stuff, but, you know, if I don't have to put it into a disk drive, yeah, I'll just play it off of a hard drive. Happily. Oh, gosh, she's doing this. Dodge. Dodge. Oh, that's a 3-string. Oh my goodness. Kind of unfortunate that she opened up with that, but that's a hit. 1, 2, and 3. I actually tried to aim cancel right there. If you were noticing my inputs, I tried to aim cancel and I forgot. Oh yeah, there's no guns here. Got a shield break. Nope. Interrupt that. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, I also keep forgetting to use my shield breakers. When we got our PB, we were doing shield breaker quite a bit because it's very good. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. Enter overdrive. When you do retributions like this, it charges some burst, as you can see in the bottom left. Right there. Oh, trust me, it charges burst energy. The boss died, but you'll just have to believe me. So usually, if I'm about to do a retribution, depending on how I got there, I might try to enter overdrive. Alright, that's Karakuri. 1 hit. 1 hit. Not bad. We're at 8 hits. I can still get a sub 10. I gotta do really well on the outro bit of the game here, the last section. Anywho, yeah, on my PS2, I was playing Ratchet Deadlocked, a game I loved as a kid. I played a lot of Ratchet Deadlocked online, and I mean, I love all the Ratchet and Clank games. I love all those classic PS2 franchises, like Cooper, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, you know, other ones. And I just felt like playing Deadlock because I was having a conversation about my friend with it. Because like the presentation in that game really is crazy. It's so interesting. And you know, Ratchet and Clank humor is always great. 1, 2. But yeah, I played a lot of Ratchet Deadlocked online. Also played a lot of like Jak X online. Big fan of Jak X. I'm a fan of Naughty Dog Racers, honestly. 1 and 2, 3. Like Crash Team Racing, adore that game, as well as the remake. Like the Nitro Fueled, I love that one as well. Although it's a shame that you can't play Nitro Fueled on PC, and even the PS4 version, if you play it on PS5, is not 60 FPS. So Crash Team Racing, Nitro Fueled, only 30 FPS, but still very pretty. Okay, so during this transition, you want to keep attacking him, just to charge up a little bit more beta energy, so take advantage. And again, those transition attacks do not deal any damage. 1, 2, and 3. That string is actually a phase 1 string inverse. So it's just the backwards timing, which is pretty interesting. 1, 2, and 3. That string is just an Abaddon timing. So if you know Abaddon, you actually know that timing, I promise you. Alright, what's next? 1, 2, 3, 4, and... oh. That's a string I don't see very often. I felt brave, so I was like, let's go ahead and let him do it. But now, our chances of... well, we can't get sub 10, but I can still get 10. 1, 2. I can keep it at 10. Alright, now I'm very motivated. I'm gonna try really hard to keep it at 10. We gotta at least start with a 10-hit PB. We can't go over that. Not when our actual PB is 5. Here's phase 3, so I'm going to start running over. I'll heal. And this is another time to take advantage. Just going to charge some burst right there with my aerial string, beta chained. This you kind of just got to jump over because it's too... nope, don't do that. That almost killed me. 1 and 2. Knock him down. Charge a little bit more. 1, 2, and 3. Repulse is always a lot of damage. I'm always happy to let the repulse rock. Just let that happen. And a punishing edge to finish it off. Okay, so we're 10 hits. I really want at least a 10-hit PB to start things off, because the point of this episode 0 is to kind of introduce myself and set a new PB so that we can work off of that, because if I kept it at the base 5 that we had already from like my streams, the PB of 5, you know, like if you were only watching the videos, you wouldn't know how we got that. So at least with this one, you know exactly how we got this PB, and we can improve on that. And again, only one take. I will not do more than one take every episode, and even if we have some bad ones, dude, it'll just be a funny episode where we got a lot of hits. Maybe we'll have like a 20 or 30 hit episode. Let me know what you think the most hits we'll get in an episode is. You can use this baseline to kind of guide you a little bit. Because, yeah, I don't plan to restart in any of these videos. Unless I get hit, like, okay, if I get hit on Abaddon, if it's like the first boss, I'll restart. But otherwise, I will never restart for these videos. But that's it, just Abaddon, because it's just the first one, and that's the only exception. Oh, another thing, what's cool about doing videos like this is I can play around more with my audio settings and make experimental changes. Bang, bang. She usually starts the fight like this. In fact, she always does. 1, that's actually an invincible attack. Bang, bang. That first hit she did there is invincible. So there's no way to interrupt that. But then when she comes back with the 2, 3 for that string, you can interrupt that. So, pretty interesting combo there. 1, 2, 3. Jump up. 3 hits. Land and blink. Now we'll hit her with a shield breaker. Bam, flash kick. Perfect. Go into overdrive. There's her phase 2. You can time this. 1 and 2. Dodge. Okay, just barely got it. Nice. This is also invincible. You cannot interrupt that blink. And she didn't go for the repulse there. Sometimes she does. That was really close. I almost didn't see that because of the clouds that were in the way. 1 and 2 and 3. Delay and 4, 5. Okay. I'm feeling she's going to do her projectiles soon. She's probably going to get up here and do it. Oh, she didn't. She went for the 3-string. Okay. Well, there it is. So for this one, I usually like to run away a little bit, just to see the projectiles better. And then it's 7 projectiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Land, and then delayed dodge. So that's always a big delay. You're actually dodging like the shockwave, not her dive kick. So if you can keep that in mind, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. 2 and 3. Delay and 4, 5. Please don't do a retribution. 1. Ah, damn it. Well, I ate it, but that's fine. Dodge. I need to get her. We're at 11 hits. I failed my objective. Oh well. Okay, start phase 3. Thank you. She was right on the verge of doing an insta-kill, which I was worried about. Because then we kind of lose the value of our retribution, right? But here, I'll let her come to me, and then I'll hit her with a triplet. Hit her with a triplet. Oh, I don't have energy? Wait, I do have energy. There we go. I messed up. Wait, why did I mess that up? Oh, because I wasn't in overdrive. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3. Delay and 4, 5. Unfortunate. So usually you can always get in 9 attacks there if you aim cancel. But my mistake is that I was not on overdrive, so I didn't have the speed. She'll do an insta-kill here. Yeah. Expected. Very much expected. That should finish off the fight. Okay, 11 hits. Hey, this is raw, one take, pure, just an honest, like a genuine, showing you the grind. That's the point of the series. So, having episode 0 not go exactly according to plan is really perfect in a way. This cutscene is just so sick. I love it. Okay. And it looks even more badass with this costume. Which, if for some reason, if you jumped to this part and didn't watch the whole thing, you might not have heard me say that this is a mod. So, the link is in the description to the mod, but it's only for PC. Sorry if you're playing on console, can't play with it. I can kind of understand Shift Up's reasoning, because it's a really special... Like, when it happens, when you use that costume in the story, it's like a special moment. It's very significant, rather. So, if they made it just a costume, you might lose some of that impact of when it happens in the game, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I think you could just make it a costume. It'd be fine. You can charge another 99 cents for it, like the captain suit. But anyway, here's Raven. Spoilers. This boss, my very first playthrough, which is still on YouTube, my very first blind playthrough, I remember took an entire hour of just getting wrecked. It was so much fun. 1, 2. Back up. 1 and 2. Oh, by the way, this is the only boss that I made a 1, 2 that I made a whole tutorial video on, which is called How to Master Any Boss. That's on my channel as well. I've gotten some really nice messages from folks in stream lately talking about how 1 and 2, how it helped them, you know, master Raven, and it's just really cool. Because it was a really, you know, it took a long time to make that video, so the fact that it helped anybody is really awesome. 1 and dodge. I felt like I could use some energy there, some burst. 1, 1, 2. Ah, unfortunate, there's a hit. And we're almost at phase 2, so I'm not really at risk of wasting the retribution. There it is. She'll usually start this with an overhead. I'm not sure why I decided to heal there. That was silly. That was a big mental lapse. I even said she usually starts with this with an overhead, but hey, now we can do no damage. If you watch my streams, you probably notice I like to talk a lot. So I'll even talk, like respond to messages in chat a lot during gameplay, even when it's probably stuff that I should be focusing more on. Like, yeah, if I have like a really good speedrun going, I should probably lock in and maybe focus more on just the game in front of me. But I can't help it, I'm just like such a chatterbox. Bang, bang. And so even though this is offline, so 1, 2, and 3. Another reason I thought that maybe I could get this hitless run offline is because maybe I'll be more focused. 1, 2, delay, and 3. But at the same time, that's a hit. Maybe I'll be even less focused here, so... I hope this series works out as intended. That was a nice interrupt. We barely got it there, only because I had a speed boost from Reflection 1, and from Overdrive, I think. After Reflection 1, I usually like to follow it up with an Onslaught 1. If you don't know what Reflection 1 is, it's this. Right here. This is the Reflection 1, and then you can just do Onslaught 1. It comes out really quick. That's triangle, 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 hold triangle. Dodge. Okay, we're getting wrecked by Raven now. Now we have quite a lot of hits on today's PB. Quite a lot of hits on today's PB. This can happen. Now, I'll reluctantly try to lock in a little bit more. So here is me not commentating. 1 and 2. I'll only commentate my counting, which I always do. 1, 2, and 3. I'll do a shield breaker. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. Delay and blink. That 5 string is a really good one to get. 1, 2, because it's 5 attacks and the blink for a lot of burst energy. Bang, bang. Let's down her with counter chain 2. Okay, excellent. Interrupt. There with shield breaker. Ooh, that would have been good to let rock though. I kind of wish I got that. 1, 2. Took a hit, but kind of good that she clashed because I didn't want a hit there. I didn't want a parry. I want to save the retribution for phase 2. I'll down her with chain reflection 1. Then go in with one of these. Oh, never mind. Here's the Tempest. Dodge. As soon as you see the screen like about to crack, that's how you know to dodge. 1. 1 and 2. That is a 5 string, but of course we got the retribution, so now I'll go chain rush chain 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dodge. Okay, nice. Another chain reflection 1 to down her again. I found you can do slash safely. If you do like anything else though, she will interrupt it. In phase 2. In phase 2 she's got the like the parry. Oh, don't do that. Nope, don't do that laughing string. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Delay and 5. And that should kill. Okay, that was Raven. That's a lot of red. Hey, next episode though? Ooh, wait for next episode, I'm telling you. Let's at least get a good Providence. Providence is one of my favorite bosses to fight. Back when I speedran the game a lot, I would always fight Providence. Just because, like, we fought him so much, we're just so confident in that fight. Meanwhile, Elder, I've only practiced in recent times, thanks to Victor Perez for the donations to make me fight Elder. I've learned a good bit more of Elder, but I'm still not where I'm at with Providence, because, like, we have literally spent at least, probably like at least 10 hours, maybe 20 hours on just Providence. During the No Camps challenge run that I mentioned earlier, I mean, Providence took like 3 streams. It was a whole thing. And when we finally got it, we got it no damage, which was hype. 1, 2. So there is no boss that I really feel more comfortable with, honestly, than Providence. So I love fighting this guy. He does have some weird hitbox things, though, so depending on where you're at on the map, you gotta look out for some attacks whiffing. If you do, like, Incursion 4, that'll often whiff the last hit. Same thing with Incursion 2, the last hit can whiff. And then even, like, 1, 2, even, like, Onslaught 2, right there, see that? The second hit connected, but the first didn't, on the last hit. The last hit of Onslaught 2 is 2 hits, and half of it whiffed, so this is the Repulse. Enter Overdrive. 1, 2, delay, and 3, and 4. I'm gonna down him now with Counter Chain 2. And also, if I don't die so much, he's gonna fly away. Oh, he didn't. He's going into phase 2. Okay. If you're behind him, though, he likes to fly away. That's his tendency. 1, down him again. I'll go for an aerial chain. Aerial beta chain. Bam. Repulse. 1, and repulse. I'll shoot him a little bit. Even though he doesn't show a weak point, he still does take extra damage from ranged. So there's that. Nope, don't do that. I want to keep you on top of me, just to make this fight a little bit more consistent. Okay, here's his insta-kill, which means we're basically at the end of the fight. And then shoot this one a little bit, move over. 1, 2, 3, aim cancel, 1, 2, 3, aim cancel, 1, 2, 3. I'll just do it here. For some reason, at least with Providence, he gets up a tiny bit faster than UN or Elder do after their insta-kills. At least in my experience, so... But that's the boss fight. So, at least we had a perfect Elder. Or, sorry, perfect Providence. Perfect Providence. Alliteration. Also, did you know you actually cannot dodge or parry in this part of the fight in boss challenge? Now, if you're in... Look, check it out. I'm going to mash circle. Notice that doesn't do anything. I'm going to mash L1. Doesn't work. So, only in boss challenge. If you're in the story, you can dodge through those opening lasers that he always starts phase 3 with. Once you're here in the super angel form. Super fusion. So, fun fact. I only realized it recently. But in retrospect, I realized that actually, that has happened to me a lot. Because I have tried dodging through the lasers, and it wouldn't work. And I didn't realize that, like, oh, it just actually is not supposed to work. It's kind of a little weird quirk about this final part, that you cannot dodge or parry. And that is one thing that's handy about the layout, because you can see exactly what I'm doing. It's pretty real time. Check it out. That's nice, right? All right, so there we go. 16 hits, and I'll set it as the PB. So here on our... This is the app I'm using called... Here, let me get this out of the way. There you can see my hit counter. So this is the app I use called Hit Counter Manager, version 1.20 for Windows, and I'm going to set this as the PB. Right here, record run as PB, because I made a separate one, so bam. So I have a profile here just for when we're playing offline, and then when we're streaming, I still have my 5-hit PB saved there. So we'll see how many episodes it takes to get the perfect hitless run, because when it happens, I think it'll be very sick. It'll be very sick to share that. But this is episode 0. Introduce myself a little bit. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Check out the streams. I'm live at least 3 days a week, because I'm only working part-time, so I can stream more. And if you watch my old streams, everything is timestamped. So if you wanted to see something in particular from any given stream, that is all timestamped, just for your convenience. I don't think I'll be timestamping these videos, though, because it really is intended to watch as one segment. And they're not that long. I mean, 45 minutes is long, but that's because we died a few times. It'll be closer to like 35 to 40 minutes, I think, once we make some progress. So that's our 16-hit PB. I'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you in episode 1. Peace.